The most annoying thing about the unpacked experiments is the problems that you have when you try to move the experiments from one computer to another, or even different places within your own hard drive. And that's because of those um, paths to the different different data folders and data waves. So let's take a look at what the problem is. Here I have an experiment. It's unpacked. It's got GRA and the coring matrices. And if you look, they're both shared. There's the path to the coring matrix folder, and there is the path to the 1338 GRA folder. All right, so we'll save that and open up a new experiment just to sort of clear the one we just saved. Now I'm going to change the positions of those waves. So there's a random empty folder. I'm going to put the experiment in it, and then I'm going to drag in the two folders of data that we share, the shared coring matrices and the GRA data. Okay, so now we move this thing. Let's try and open the experiment. Aha! It cannot find BGRA whole. Now sometimes, and I can't even tell in this demonstration whether it will work, you can look for that file, and if you find it, it may open the rest of the experiment. We'll give it a try real quick here. So it's looking for, if you look up here, you'll see it's U1338B underscore GRA whole. So we want BGRA whole. It looks like maybe it's working this time. So that's fine. That worked. But often it doesn't, especially if you've got multiple folders of shared data. So if that's the case, here's what you do. There are two ways. The simple way, although it means you're going to wind up with duplicate data, but let's say you're moving the experiment to another computer that doesn't have all the backup data that you're sharing. So you can go up to File, but before you click File, like that, hold down the Shift key. Now you'll see this thing that says Adopt All. Now, you can adopt notebook files and procedure files, user procedure files, as well as waves and wave metrics procedure files, but you don't really want to mess with those. Notebooks, if you might, if you had something interesting in a notebook. But mainly you want to adopt the waves, so let's do that. Okay. Now what you see is these guys have no longer have a path. All right, so that's a simple way. Let's save this. Now if I just open a new experiment just to get the saved one away. Now if I take these guys and change their position again, it won't make any difference because we're not sharing them anymore. Come on, folks. Okay, there we go. All right, but let's say that didn't work, that you keep getting repeated error messages, which happens probably more often than not and leads to the great frustration. So if you can't open it the way we just did, there's another way you can do it. And that is go up to File and open a new experiment. Okay, put that over there. All right, now you want to pull in the data that you need in the experiment. So if you look at the experiment folder, what you see is you've got the GRA data and the matrices in the experiment. So let's go here, and we can just go to this browse experiments, and because you're in an unpacked experiment, you need to hold down the Option key. Now you can pick a folder. So we're going to go find our GRA. Open that guy, and we'll just pull them right over there. Let's do it again. Hold down the Option key, and we'll open this guy, and pull these guys in. And we're done browsing. Okay, now we've got the GRA and we've got the offsets. And they're both not shared. Now you remember there was a plot in the old experiment we were trying to reopen. So let's get that one. The way we do that is we go to the experiment folder for the experiment we can't open, and go to Procedures. And you can open it with a text editor. And here's your plot. Copy it. Go back to the experiment, the new experiment we're just forming. You want to go to the procedure window, paste in that graph. Now we can go up to Windows, Graph Macros. There's our plot. So that's the other way. Whichever way works best for you and doesn't complicate life, works for me.